Hello beautiful and welcome back to my channel and welcome to this video where we are going to talk about this. Oh my lord. The travel series by BH Cosmetics. We are going to talk about the palettes. I'm going to swatch them. I'm going to let you know which ones are my favorites and which ones are my least favorites. And the most important thing of all, are the new ones actually same packaging, new formula? Or did they change it? Spoiler alert. They changed it. And if you haven't been here before, my name is Angie. Hello, welcome to this place of color. Welcome to this place of makeup. I'm still very much in love with beauty and makeup. Here on my channel, 5 times a week, we do videos all about beauty and makeup, trying new things, trying old things. And if that sounds like something you'd like, don't forget to subscribe and let's dive in. I'm gonna try and make this video as precise and as short as possible. Right now, I'm actually wearing another look that I did in a video before this. I will leave a link to that video. I will leave it up here if I remember. Hopefully I remember. I'll also leave it down below. But I'm gonna take this eye makeup off towards the end of the video and we are gonna put on the old palette versus the new palette. Wait, let me show you. I have the old palette and I have the new palette. I'm gonna do one on each eye and we are gonna see. I was gonna say, we're gonna see if there's a difference. There is a difference. Let me quickly, like I said, let me quickly get through this. I love BH Cosmetics. I think BH Cosmetics has one of the best eyeshadow palette formula that I've tried. Not like for the price, but overall. Their mattes are pigmented, blendable, buildable. I love buildable mattes. You know how much I've been raving about this one, if I can find it. The Passion in Paris. I think it is amazing. I did say though that this one, the Party in Puerto Rico, didn't have the same amazing matte formula, but it's still a very, very good palette. I did say though before that the Trendy in Tokyo, this is the one with the old packaging. The old ones had mirrors, that I didn't think that this was up to par with the other formula, and I felt the same about the Smitten in Switzerland and the Summer in Saint-Tropez. Again, these are the old ones. I didn't feel like those were up to par, and then they were doing new packaging. Let me show you again the new packaging with the Tokyo, the old and the new, and it says clearly on the website, clearly for everyone to see, this is the same formula, new packaging. But it is not. It is not the same formula. Some of the shade names are not even the same. Should we start with this one? Let's start with the Tokyo one. This is the Trendy in Tokyo. Overall, I think the packaging is so much better and looks so much more modern and cohesive with the newer palettes, and the same on the inside. The prices are still the same. Pretty sure these are $17 each, so you're still paying $17 but without the mirror. The packaging is nicer though, and I'm gonna be honest with you, the formula is nicer. The formula is nicer. When you look at the swatches, the first one that you see is the old formula and the second one you see is the new formula. So it's like old, new, old, new, old, new. And you can clearly see with some of these that it's not a matter of like, is it the same formula or not? Who cares? They're not even the same color. Like I can clearly see with my somewhat defective eyesight that these are not the same formula. When it comes to the other one where I have both the old one and the new one, like, let me get them, which is Smitten in Switzerland, the swatches are not as different. They're not as different, but I also thought that the old formula of Smitten in Switzerland was better than the old formula of the Tokyo palette. But same here, they changed the names of some shades and I can see in the pan that they're not the same. The biggest difference here are the shimmers. The shimmers are more reflective, more creamy, and more opaque. They did a very good update on that. When it comes to the Summer in Saint-Tropez, I only have the old packaging. I don't know why I didn't buy the new packaging in this one. After trying these, the old versus the new, I do think that I will be purchasing this in the new packaging as well. Only because, again, this old formula, it's okay. It's okay, but it's not as good as some of the other travel palettes. There is also a palette that is like Love in London or something. That one is discontinued. I can't find it anywhere. It seems like that one is not available anymore, and I'm not surprised that that one is gone because it was a neutral palette with a pop or two of blue, and they have that in other palettes like this one. This one is the Barcelona, Beautiful in Barcelona. This is the new packaging. I have worn this in one of my videos. Beautiful palette, really stunning. I don't have the old one to compare to. This isn't the kind of palette that I would have bought if I wasn't in the process of doing a video like this, but I think that this is really good packaging. And then we have this one that's called Hanging in Hawaii. I don't know about you, but I didn't think Hawaii would be this brown. But again, I don't think any of these palettes really represent the color scheme of the destination. Maybe this one, the one we're gonna be talking about next. But this is just a brown pink palette. Quality seems to be A+. It seems to swatch and feel just as the other palettes. And then we have this Amore in Amalfi. This one, and when I mentioned this in one of my videos, because this one, let me show you again the picture where it says same formula, new packaging. This one says just new. It doesn't say same formula, new packaging. And a lot of people were actually like telling me that I was kind of an idiot in the comment for not realizing that it said like new packaging, same formula. It doesn't say that on this one. Nowhere has BH Cosmetics said that this is actually a repackaged Chilling in Chicago. This is Chilling in Chicago. This the same colors, the same layout, everything is the same. They just changed not only the packaging like they did with some of these, they also changed the destination. This is no longer Chilling in Chicago, this is Amore in Amalfi. I will say this color scheme is very Amalfi. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty Amalfi. I don't know why they changed the destination. I don't know why they discontinued the London one. I have no idea about that. I don't know. But what I don't understand is why they didn't say anything. And I can only guess from me like swatching the old ones versus the new ones when it comes to the Tokyo and the Switzerland one, is that the formula is probably just a tad better on this one. Although I did hear that the old one had a really good formula. But I don't know, and obviously all of the shades have new names to match this one. So they just, new palette, but it wasn't new. I don't know what the deal was with that, but I'm telling you, no, it doesn't say it on the website. Stop telling me I'm stupid. I can read, I think. This is the Lost in Los Angeles. I love this one. This is the pastel palette. Such a beautiful palette. I think this is a stunning palette. This is the first palette that came out in the travel series that had this new packaging. And after this one came out is when they started to redo the packaging of all of these palettes and started discontinuing some of the older ones. And this one has that really, really great formula. And I will say some of the other ones of the newly packaged ones also does. So this is, if you're looking for a pastel palette, I'm always going to be recommending this one because I think it's such a good one. This is one of the newer ones that came out. This one I showed you before. It's Party in Puerto Rico. I cannot speak. I think the color scheme of this one is super, super pretty. It is just a warm, tropical, pinky, orangey, yellow one with some neutrals thrown in. I think it's a pretty palette. Maybe it's not like my perfect color scheme, and I also will say that like the Castillo one here and this dark one here, it's not the same buildable matte formula that, for example, the Passion in Paris has. Now after like having all of these, seeing all of this, I have all the travel palettes except the one that discontinued from London. Maybe that one is coming back in a new destination, who knows. I will say that this is my favorite. I think that this is a wonderful, beautiful, fantastic palette. The Passion in Paris, it's a dark, sexy, nighttime look dream. It has so many dark shades, but it also has some light shades, so you don't have to do like all dark, dramatic looks unless you really want to. So out of all of these, this one is my favorite. And I also really, really love this one. I think all of the other ones, like these are neutral ones. It's not really my cup of tea. I really like the Barcelona one because it actually, this is the kind of neutrals I could go for. More like plummy, cool toned, dark, sexy, sultry. I think they are really cool. And I will say the color scheme of this Smitten in Switzerland, I mean, there's a reason why I bought this one in the old packaging, is because I think that this is a fun and interesting neutral palette. Probably will buy this in the new packaging as well because I think that this has a really fun color scheme. But this quality in the older ones, not my favorite. The Tokyo one was the one that I liked the least, and I will say the new one swatches a lot better than the old one. So what we are gonna do is that we are gonna try this and we're gonna do one on each eye. The old one on one eye and the new one on one eye. But before I do that, how did this happen? Why did this happen? Why did they decide to to scrap the old ones and to like reformulate and not say that they're reformulated. My guess is that they perfected the formula, but I think that some bigger brands are having a hard time admitting that they improved, that they did it better. They don't want to admit that they changed the formula. Maybe they changed factories, who knows? Maybe they started working with someone else to be formulating their eyeshadows and it turned out so good with the Lost in Los Angeles, so they decided to just do it with their entire range. Who knows? Will say though that even if you see these on a deep discount, the ones with the old packaging, I would still say that it's worth it to get it with the new packaging, because according to me, from just using them now, swatching them, comparing them and wearing them, I do think that the ones with the new packaging, even though it says on the website that it is not reformulated, you know, new packaging, same formula, I don't think that they are, and you could clearly see it, especially in the swatches of this Tokyo one, that it's not the exact same thing. So let me wipe off this eye makeup and let's dig in. Also, let me know, what destination would you like them to do next? I've said this before and I'm gonna say it again, I don't necessarily think that they are really taking the color scheme of the destination when they're doing palettes like this. I just think that they're like trendy in Tokyo, beautiful in Barcelona. I think they're just like, you know, they're just finding a fun punny name and then they're just doing a color scheme and let that be it. To be honest, I'm kind of sad that they did Ireland as a highlighter palette, because I don't have the face palettes. That could have been such a great green palette. Again, what do I know? But let me know, what would you like to see? What would you like to see? And also you have to give me a full name. You have to give me the puns, you have to give me the singing in Stockholm. You have to give me all of it. What would you like to see? Okay, I'm gonna wash this off and let's do the eye look. Okay, so this is the new palette. The old one looks the same. You already saw. They look the same, but I want to use some of the shades that I saw the biggest difference in, which is the dark purple, the dark green and the neon yellow. Those are the ones that I saw the most difference in, and also this like blue metallic. So I think we're gonna start with this dark purple. I'm gonna do the new one on this side and the old one on the other side. I will use like one of these color switches to like clean the brush off between the colors. Am I in focus? I hope I am. Just so there's no like, so I'm not contaminating in between. So I'm starting with the new one on this side. And you can see that builds up really nice. Again, I am starting with the darkest shade on an unset primer, which I feel is the best way to make a shadow look like it does in the pan. I'm not trying to make the most blended, beautiful looks. It is pretty late in the afternoon. Let me clean this off. I'm just doing this to show you the difference between the colors. I will probably go to the grocery store in these looks. Hopefully they won't look too different, but I don't think they'll be that different. And again, this wasn't a bad palette. I didn't think that this was a bust. It's just my least favorite of all of these palettes. And I think mainly the reason was that I didn't feel like the mattes were as buildable or as good as some of the other ones, and I also felt like the shimmers were a little stiff and not that fun. But I mean, I think you can clearly see that these are blending out to a different shade. Like, is this really new packaging, same formula? Because I think that this one is more pink and this one is more cool toned. But what do I know? Now we're gonna do the dark green. In the new palette, this one is called Imperial Palace. In the old palette, it is called Bamboo. Why they renamed them and said that they are the same ones, I don't know. Because this is one of the two shades that I noticed when swatching had the biggest difference. So here we go. I'm gonna clean it off and then we're doing the other shade on the other side. I think the biggest difference when swatching this was that one swatched this one swatched so much better than this one. On the eyes, not as much of a difference as it was when I swatched them. Again, definitely not the same formula, but pretty similar on the eyes. This one is more of a pinky purple, and this is clearly more of a cool tone purple, but these not that different on the eyes. One of the shades that I thought was extremely different was this one called Neon, and in the other one it's called Tempura. Those were Night and Day. Okay, so this is the Neon shade. That is pretty. Maybe I'll just use whatever's left and just buff on this edge just a little bit. Cleaning off the brush, and now I'm taking Tempura. And this one swatches like a yellow setting powder. How am I gonna get this to... Okay, I'm pushing so much on my brush. But yeah, this one swatched so different, so I'm not surprised that it also applies different. They were like night and day. You couldn't even see this Tempura swatch, and it didn't even cover or lighten up that like light green like it did here a lot better. Yeah, I can tell you that already. The one in the new palette is so much better than the one in the old palette. I want to use this blue metallic. Here it's called Bullet Train, and the other one is called Electric. Don't ask me, I have literally no idea why it is the way it is, but I am... Okay, the difference between the swatches of this was intense. The shimmer in the new one, it swatched so much better. I'm still gonna spray it though, because I am gonna put it under my eyes, and I've already like powder there, and I don't want to have blue fall out everywhere, which I might get either way. I might put a little bit... I'm not spraying now, but I might put a little bit on the lash line just to deepen up and to bring the blue up. I don't know why I'm making an effort. It's not like I'm gonna be doing anything special with this look, but here we are. It's a nice way to tie in, to bring up the color on the top lash line and just blend it into whatever we have going on up here. As long as the colors are not too different from each other, but the blue and the purple, not that different. Okay, so this is Electric on the other side from the old palette. I don't know if you can see, but I hope you can see that this isn't as vibrant, it is not as opaque and like impactful as this one. And I did spray this one as well. It's just not as creamy, not as opaque, not as pigmented. It's kind of the same shade, but it's just like a lesser version of it. But I'm gonna do the same on this side as well. You can see also that the blend isn't as good with this purple as it is on this side. Even though it's not perfect here, it is more blended than it is on this side. And I definitely did not try more on the other side. Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of the same yellow on the lid. I'm gonna do that in the inner corner and just meet up a little bit. And cleaning off the brush, and then I'm taking the same shade on the other side. A little better here. I mean, I can see a difference. This blend looks better. This lid color looks way better, and the inner corner looks more vibrant, and so does the lower lash line. But it is minimal differences. It's not like a world of difference, definitely not. But this is a better and improved formula. This isn't bad. This is just better. If you already have this, do you need this? Maybe not. But if you saw this on sale and wanted it, I kind of still do recommend this one. BH Cosmetics has sales all the time. Just buy the newer version. Okay, let me finish this up and we can have a final chat. Okay, I just finished up the look with some lashes. I mean, I think both of the looks are fine. I didn't spend that much time blend if I'm gonna be honest, but this is a little bit more effortless. The under eye is more pigmented. This like neon shade is definitely more pigmented. Maybe I can even show you like me just swatching these, because they are so different just touching them. Like, do you see that? This is my inner corner shade. This is the old palette and this is the new palette. Can you see the difference just picking them up with my finger? Like the old one, like it barely even picked up, but this new one is picking up so good. And this is what I mean, that for me, it was so obvious that these were not the same formula. I did have a subscriber actually message me when she was comparing these two to each other, and I didn't really think much of it. I was thinking like, oh, maybe they did some changes, but then they released this Amalfi palette, and I was really like, wow, they really went out and did something. Something is totally different here, and that got me more intrigued into actually trying and comparing the old ones to the new ones. What do you think? Do you think it matters? Do you think it matters that the brand says that it's the same formula when it's not? Do you think it matters? Because I will be honest, if you own the old one, I don't think you need to buy the new one. I don't think the difference is that much. I think I'm just curious. I'm just curious, and when a brand says it's a new one, when it's clearly a repackaged old one, or when they're saying it's the same formula, when like evidence is pointing to maybe it's not, it just makes me a little bit curious. I hope this was a little bit helpful, and I also hope, and this is my message from this video, if you see the old packaging on a sale and you really wanted to get that color scheme, I still think it might be worth it to buy the new one, because I do think that the formula in the new ones, especially the shimmers, if I'm gonna be honest, is a lot better than the old ones, at least from the ones that I have tried. Anyways, I hope this was helpful in any way, shape or form. I really do like BH Cosmetics eyeshadow formula. I really do hope that they come up with more palettes in the series. My favorite so far is Passion in Paris. Let's see if they can top that one, because I think it is a really amazing one. If you're wondering about any of these palettes, I will link all the information and I will put everything down below in case you're interested. Thank you for being here. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I will see you again tomorrow for a new video. Bye!